What's up, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm very excited for today's episode. We're talking about one of the most common ways that I hear women describe their bodies, and that is skinny fat. When you're stuck in a weight loss plateau, or maybe you've actually hit your goal weight, but you still don't look the way that you expected. You're just in a smaller body. You don't look toned. You don't look defined. A lot of women would call themselves looking soft or puffy. And usually that makes you think that you need to lose more weight. So you stay in the deficit, you add more cardio until eventually that's exactly when this plateau hits, where you're in the phase of I'm doing everything right, quotations around that if you're listening to this in a podcast form, because you're following all of the advice. You're following all the things that you see out there in diet culture. But if you were actually doing everything right, you would have the results that you're chasing. But you don't. So let's be really honest. Something is wrong with the approach. It's not something wrong with you. It's something wrong with the approach. The biggest excuses that I see women making who label themselves as skinny fat is that this is just my body type. No, it's not your body type. It is, again, the wrong approach. In fact, it's the only approach that women ever really take before they hire a coach and they learn how to do body transformation right. You have cycled through hundreds of different workout apps. You've done the hot yoga, the sculpt classes 4 times a week. You've eaten a ton of protein, done low carb, been between 14 and 1600 calories for years and years and years, because somewhere along the way you learned, you read, maybe we even calculated through like a calorie tracking app that was the right answer for you. You are doing what so many women, so many people would consider to be healthy. In fact, the approach that you've taken has worked for you in the past. It worked for a short while until it doesn't. And you're left terrified of carbs, terrified of lifting anything heavy, terrified of eating more, or really just eating enough for your body, because in your head, that is equated to losing your progress. And then women come to me with excuse number 2, which is, I've already tried everything. Again, no, you have not tried everything. All that you've tried is every version of the same thing, which is more restriction and more workout classes or more cardio, just repackaged a ton of different ways. The keto, the Weight Watchers, the even, restrictive calorie counting approaches, again, they work until they don't. And they're all just the same thing. They are all just a restrictive calorie deficit, more cardio, more calorie burning, because all that they know is the calories in versus calories out approach to body transformation or to weight loss. But that is just weight loss. That is not body transformation, body recomposition. There's a very big difference between those two things. And most women don't know how to approach it differently. You don't know how to break through this plateau that you've gotten yourself into. You haven't learned, or you haven't tried the other half of the body recomposition equation yet. So no, you haven't tried everything. Actually, that right there is the real problem, I think, that I want to get through in today's episode. It's the real problem that you're running into, is that you have a body recomposition problem, not a body weight problem. Like, what you've tried so far to lose weight has worked, but that alone isn't getting you to the body that you feel confident in. That alone isn't getting you to the tone defined, like fit physique that you want, that turns heads. You're forgetting that you have to build muscle before you can just lose fat to be able to look the way that you want when you do cut your calories and do a deficit. And there's a part to being stuck in this skinny fat body that really feels so isolating, because people will look at you and they will say, you look fine. And let's be honest, you probably do, but fine is not the goal for you. Like, there's still clothes in your closet that you don't fit into in the way that you want, that you're just saving there because you know that you have the potential to look better. You know that you have the potential to tone up a little bit more, lean out a little bit more. So you're saving them because you know that it's not a lost cause. You know that this isn't your body type. You know that you're not stuck here. You know that there's a different approach that will work for you subconsciously. But consciously, we're using those two excuses that I've already mentioned before that's keeping you stuck doing the same thing over and over and over, yet expecting different results. And this is the episode where we get to change that. You want the body that is above average, the one that is toned, defined, that makes you feel confident when you look in the mirror, that isn't just acceptable to other people. The one where other people, when they look at you, can see the effort, the discipline, the self-respect, the hard work that was put in to build that. That isn't just you being skinny or soft or small. Despite knowing that you are capable of more, so many women will just settle here. Settle for a fine physique because it feels too vain or too surface level to want more, or you don't know how to do it. Despite still being healthy, showing up for yourself, you don't have the right approach that goes beyond just the healthy habits. At some point, this becomes more than just a body thing. And that's why I'm so passionate about this conversation. It's more than just a body thing. It's an identity thing. Because everywhere else in your life, the women who are in this position, everywhere else in your life, your effort turns into results. Like you work hard at your job, you get promoted. You show up for other people in your life, those relationships get stronger. Your entire identity is built on the belief that your effort will compound to success, to results. That's how you have achieved everything that you have up until this point. And then your body becomes the one place that rule quietly stops applying. I know this because I've been here. You're doing the workouts, you're eating healthy, you're showing up over and over and over, and the outcome does not match the input. And to be quite honest, that is, in my opinion, the definition of burnout. You're putting in so much and you're not getting the results on the other side of it. That burns you out more than actually working hard, because high achievers love to work hard. You can operate at a higher capacity than most people can. But when that high performance is not getting you the results that you want, that's burning you out, because it's like, what's the point in continuing to put in this effort? What's the point of continuing to work this hard? If it's getting you results, it feels fine. It feels easy. You're less vulnerable to burnout at that point. So what happens to these women? What happens to a woman who's used to effort equating results? When that stops working, she doesn't just get discouraged in her body. She gets discouraged with herself. She starts questioning herself, her own identity. She stops trusting herself, which that fracture in your own self-trust trickles into your confidence everywhere else, your discipline everywhere else. This is where the habits now start to slip. And we label it as burnout, right? Because that's what it feels like. It's like, I'm working so hard and I'm not getting the effort. So that discipline starts to become a little bit more flexible. That confidence starts to slip up a little bit. You start hiding a little bit more. And that's when you begin to question your entire identity, because your entire identity has been built on having confidence in yourself, having trust with yourself, being the disciplined one, being the healthy one, even being the lean and fit one. And solving this issue of skinny fat, while it feels vain and surface level, it goes so much deeper. Being able to close the gap between the effort that you know that you're capable of and the body that you actually want, that reflects the work that you're putting in, that goes so much deeper than just vanity. Like, that is the foundation of self-respect. And my favorite part about all of this as a practitioner about women to, learning the right way to approach body recomposition, not just weight loss, and actually starting to put your effort towards habits that get you an ROI, is that you're almost unlocking a new level of your fitness journey. It's like unlocking a new level of a video game. To me, you are taking your fitness journey to the next level, that now it's not just about calories in versus calories out. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about going beyond just the nutrition and exercise conversation, but how do I support my metabolism and my hormones and my gut and my internal health so that my body, that the effort that I'm putting in actually works, that I'm not working against my body, but I'm working with it. That is like my favorite part about this conversation, because it's, again, taking your health journey to the next level. It's like you're leveling up. You get a gold star here. It's approaching your fitness journey in a way that improves your health, not just your physique. When I look at someone who is stuck in this like skinny fat stage, when I look at it through the lens of a coach and a practitioner, I'm not just seeing under eating and workouts. I'm seeing everything else that goes on behind the scenes of a woman who's running on overdrive and not getting an ROI. Like, I'm seeing a woman who's running on stress, who's battling food noise 24/7, who's over caffeinated, who's rushing through every single thing that she does not have solid morning routines or evening routines, whose nervous system is just like maxed out from a 10 to 12 hour workday, and just adding on more and more and more expectations for yourself, another workout, because you think that that's what you need and is going to get you results, is actually doing more harm than good to your body. And that makes me so sad, because you think you're doing the right thing and you're actually making things worse. You are normalizing living in survival mode instead of actually thriving, which is how you should feel based off of the intention and effort that you put into your health and your body. You can white knuckle this for a while, but eventually your body stops responding to this effort altogether. And that's usually when women come to me, when all of this internal dysfunction has started to compound on top of the weight loss plateau, the physique plateau that you're running into. And this is just where it gets really confusing, because you're doing more, but you're seeing less results. Your weight is creeping back on, you're bloating, you're puffy, your cycles are irregular, your hair is falling out, and you've just kind of dug your own self into a whirlwind of symptoms, all just trying to be healthy and do the right thing. So, with all that being said, I want to break down what's actually happening when you reach this point of feeling skinny fat on a physiological level. And more importantly, like, hey, if you understand what's actually happening, then you can also understand how to actually fix it from the root cause. This is why nothing is working for you anymore. Number one is kind of something I've already touched on, but weight and shape are not the same thing. And you have been optimizing for the wrong one this whole time. When you go on a diet and hop on cardio 5 days a week, you will see weight loss. Like, you will see that number drop, and it feels like you're making progress. But weight loss and body recomposition, or changing the shape of your body, are two completely different processes, and they require two completely different approaches and different tools. I want you to think about it like this. Let's say you have a block of clay sitting on the table. If all you have to do is shave pieces off of the block and the block gets smaller, it gets lighter, that's weight loss. But it's still shapeless. It still has soft edges. It's still the same undefined form. It's just a smaller version of that like blob of clay. That is what cardio and restriction do for your body. That's all they can do for your body. They can just shave down fat. They are not sculpting tools. They were never built to be sculpting tools. To actually build shape to your body, definition, tightness, the toned look that you have been chasing that turns heads, that gets you the above average physique, you need a different input. You need to prioritize resistance training. You need your muscles to be full, to be developed by progressive overload strength training. That is one tool that you need to add to your protocols. Not Pilates, not spin, not your fourth HIIT class for the week where you're dropping, where you're like, running out of there, dripping sweat, feeling like you've earned something. While those are great, and I would encourage you, yeah, you can sprinkle those in, but know that they aren't supportive of the goals that you have when it comes to your physique. They are just fun ways to move your body. Like, I would consider them like recreational activities. You need a real resistance training that is heavy enough with progressive overload And on top of that, you need to recover from that training efficiently enough with real food. That's a big missing tool here, to give your body the nutrients it needs to build that muscle tissue and support your metabolism so that you can actually tone and sculpt. You were taught to shave off weight, to shave your body, not how to sculpt your body. And that is mistake number one. Mistake number two is under eating and overtraining with cardio, or really just overtraining in general, keeps your nervous system in defense mode or in fight or flight. And that part makes it feel impossible to transform your body because you're trying to outwork deeper dysfunction that's going on internally. This is the piece that turns the, I need to work harder type of mentality into why isn't anything working anymore frustration, because it's not just about which exercise you're choosing or how many calories you're eating, frankly. It is about the state of your body internally. And honestly, a lot of women don't realize that you are the one who put your body into that position. Like, this isn't an age thing. This isn't a genetic thing. This isn't, oh my gosh, what happened to me? This is, I take responsibility for the way that I've been living my life and my lifestyle, putting my hormones and my gut and my nervous system in this compromised, dysfunctional position. A nervous system that is dysregulated cannot be out-dieted, cannot be outworked. We need to look at the inputs that you are putting into your body compared to how much output is going out. We need to look at the food that's coming in. We need to look how much sleep you're getting. We need to look at your total body's stress bucket. And when you combine looking at your body's stress bucket with chronic undereating, chronic cardio, the 10 to 12 hour workday that you're pushing yourself through, the constantly in a rush, the go, 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 go mentality. Honestly, the biggest stressor that I hear from women is stressing about their own body and their own physique. When you pile all of that on top of each other, you are working against your body, not with it. And that's when all of these symptoms kind of compound. That's causing you to feel bloated, puffy, fatigued, now compromising your drive and your desire and your discipline to show up for yourself because you're exhausted. And the idea of pushing harder feels really defeating because you're like, okay, well, I've been pushing harder for so long and it's not working. Can't tell me I have to push even harder. Like, that feels impossible at this point. That's where we transition to, okay, let's work smarter. Let's fix this internal dysfunction that's going on before we tackle a deficit ever again. And honestly, it's less about delaying the deficit as much as it's, hey, let me really prepare my body for a deficit that will work the next time around. And that mindset shift has been really helpful for me. Just vulnerably, like, this is the position I'm in my own journey. Like, I would love to do a calorie deficit right now. I would love to, shed 10 to 15 pounds right now. But I also know, based off of my labs, like, my body's not ready for it and it won't respond to that. And it will just add deeper stress to a nervous system that's still in a compromised, dysfunctional state. And so I have really had to shift the mentality to, hey, I'm really dialing in to the healing work, to the health phase, to prepare my body for a fat loss. Instead of having the mentality of, oh, I am not healthy enough to lose fat yet, or to do a fat loss phase yet. I am delaying fat loss. And that to me felt very when I didn't have that timeline and I didn't have that, hey, like, right now, what the work that I'm doing right now, 8 weeks before I tackle fat loss, is actually what dictates my fat loss success. And that's been really helpful for me. And again, I know it's really been helpful for my clients too when I frame it in that way. So that is kind of mistake number 2, is you're not recognizing that you are trying to work against lots of dysfunction that's going on internally that's keeping that extra, 10 to 15 pounds on, or that's preventing your body from actually looking toned and defined, and instead looking soft, puffy, inflamed, bloated, even though you're like skinny or, on the smaller end. So that's something else that you definitely want to address if you're feeling stuck in this like skinny fat phase or plateau. And that's all I really have for you guys. If in today's episode, if this is you, like if today's episode was speaking to you and you've been doing everything right and your body's still not responding, I want to just emphasize this isn't a you problem. Like this isn't, it's not that you're doing everything right and you're just a snowflake and nothing's ever going to work for you. This is not just a body type that you have to live with for the rest of your life. You are just missing the right approach. You are just missing some information about your body and missing potentially like the root cause of why your body is stuck in this like skinny fat physique. And it is totally fixable when you get the right support and when you take a different approach to your body transformation. And this is what I obviously work on with almost every single one of my clients. Most of my clients come to me, not needing to lose crazy amounts of weight, but wanting to just tighten up a little bit and go from a good enough physique to an above average physique, not just in the way that they look, but also in the way that they feel. Energy levels, digestion, cycle health, skin appearance as a whole. And so if that's you, the link to apply to coaching will be down in the show notes below. I would love to chit chat a little bit more with you about that. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.